Hi guys, so today's video blog is called Mental Prep for Prep. It's dawned on me this week that I think there's 2.5 weeks left to go before I start my 12-week prep kind of period. That's for the NPA Yorkshires on the 24th of May. So I thought rather than wait until then, I'd rather start the journey now with you guys, because I think the run up to it is just as important sometimes as the prep itself. And, you know, if you're thinking about doing something like this, it's good to see someone else's journey so you can follow mine, see what it takes, see how hard it is, see how rewarding it is, and make your mind up from there. The competition prep, for those of you that don't know, is a 12-week, some people do 16, some 14, for me it's 12. It's a 12-week, really kind of strict, restricted dieting phase. I also thought it was really important to kind of let you know what goes on in my head before I start doing that. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of a rundown of what's been going through my head, what I've been feeling, how I've been training in the last few weeks, especially in the last couple of weeks. I'm feeling really positive, really motivated, really excited, which is the main thing. I just want to share with you that journey and that process before we get into the prep stage, which of course I'll be blogging and videoing all that along the way for you guys as well. For the last few weeks, I haven't been very good with the diet. It's one of those things, because I know that in 2.5 weeks' time, my diet is going to be so restricted to the point where I'm not allowed any alcohol, any nice meals. You know, you can't really go out and enjoy a meal out because you've got to worry about what you're eating. So I've been completely relaxed with what I'm eating. When I say relaxed, I've been making sure that I'm eating enough of what I've got to eat to try and get some gains. This year in particular, I'm really happy with the gains that I've made so far. I've started to notice little changes in my shoulders, in my legs, in my bum, thank God. And that's quite exciting to see, because I haven't started dieting yet. So it's a nice little bit of reassurance to think, oh, I might have actually made the improvements that I was hoping for. Then when you start dieting down, that's when you really get to see them. So you might have heard of the term bulking before. That's not something that I'd paid much attention to in the last 2 years, because when I'm not on a diet, I kind of eat what I want and never find that I have to think about it too much. But after paying more attention and researching into it a little bit more, I've started to kind of realise the importance of it, and I have taken it for granted a little bit in the past. All that means is that when I've done a workout, I'm eating enough food, not necessarily bad food, good food, to make sure that whatever gains I'm trying to make in that workout will happen. Otherwise, if I go to the gym and I'm not eating very well that day, go and do a big session, wait a couple of hours, go home, have a normal dinner, then, you know, I'm going to be running low on a lot of essential things, and then that's not going to be great for any muscle that I've tried to gain. If anything, it could go against me, and then I could lose some muscle and get a little bit of breakdown there. So bulking for me is just eating enough, and I've done half and half clean bulk and dirty bulk, as they say, because I have been doing a lot of meal prep. My boyfriend is hoping to do something similar this year, so we've been cooking meals together at night, you know, just a lot of salmon, a lot of chicken, a lot of meat, sweet potato, a lot of rice, and then making sure that we make enough for the next day as well to keep us ticking over. But then on the other side of that, you know, if you've got 3 months of the year minimum for me this year that you can't go out and relax with your friends and go for meals and go for drinks, then if I'm not dieting for a show, I'll do that as much as I can. So we are trying to fit in all the things that I know I'll crave. So some key things for me to really kind of get me motivated and get me excited for the show are to start a countdown process. If you liked my page on Facebook, you might have seen last year that we had a big chalkboard wall in the kitchen. We've got that in our new flat as well. So I'll be doing the exact same thing this year. All I do is create a big grid on the wall and then tick off each day as it comes. A big part of the kind of mental preparation for the prep is looking through pictures from last year, for me anyway, and seeing where I went wrong. Not necessarily wrong, I was pleased with coming fourth in the Midlands, but mainly seeing what I can improve on, why I didn't improve as much as I wanted to last year, and kind of creating a plan in your head on how to achieve that. So I'll give you an example. Last year, I was really pleased with the muscle that I'd gained, but because my diet wasn't completely on point, and that was my fault, I wasn't hard enough. So looking on stage, I was so disappointed in myself because it was like, gosh, my shape has really changed. But if I would have only kind of dieted a little bit harder, not had a couple of cheats that I had, then I think I would have looked a lot better on stage. For me, it's not about winning or even coming in the top 3. There's some girls that are absolutely dominating figure this year who look amazing, but to me, that's not necessarily what I kind of want to look like. I've always said that I don't want to take it too far, so I want to still feel really comfortable in my own skin. And I think to kind of start placing the top 3, it might mean gaining a little bit too much muscle for what I'd feel comfortable with. But then I look at the likes of the girls that are winning and they look incredible. So it's just one of those things. I think it'd suit some people and it wouldn't suit others, and I really don't think it'd suit me. That being said, I'm more than happy, even if I came last in a competition, if I looked at the photo from that competition, compared it with last year and could see visible improvements, I'd be absolutely fine with that. You know, I'd be over the moon with that. It's more about a personal journey for me and just seeing what I can achieve. And if that doesn't meet judges' criteria, then that's a shame. But at the same time, I'm not really in it for that. You've got to see it as a hobby, that's all it is. Don't take it too seriously. Another big key point for me is not setting myself up for failure. I've not done this ever really in my life. Like when I was a sprinter, I never expected to win. That's probably one of my biggest flaws. I could go into a competition with that brilliant mindset and just be like, right, I'm going to win this, I'm going to absolutely smash it. But that's not in my personality. I'd feel silly saying that, because then if I didn't win, I'd feel even sillier. And I just think it's good to be like confident, but you can be a bit overconfident sometimes. One of those sports that it's completely up to the judges and you can't pin too much on winning. I enjoy it, I love it. I've not even placed in the top 3. Fingers crossed that I might do this year. But for me, it's not about that. If I can look at myself and see visible improvements, and if I feel happy and I'm still enjoying it, then that's all that matters to me. Unless you're doing it for you, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And then if you don't come first, it doesn't matter. You know, if you've enjoyed it, then do another one. I feel like I'm just rambling in this video. I don't know what else to say. Training diaries. So, another big one for me, if I write down my sessions, I can't stand the idea of scribbling it out. So if I write down that I want to do 5 sets of 10 on 100 kilograms on the leg press, then if I get to the 4th set and don't want to do a 5th, the thought of having to scribble out 5 and put 4 is more annoying to me than not finishing that last rep. So training diaries are brilliant. If I go to Monday and I'm doing the legs and shoulders, if I flip back to the last Monday, I can think, right, I did that comfortably at that weight, why not add a little bit more and do a similar thing but push myself a little bit harder? So you never get a plateau, because you don't want to see the exact same training session over and over again. You want to see changes and improvements and gains. Another big factor for me is looking at what I want to achieve. That might be looking at other figure girls, it might be looking at that kind of the biggest influencers on the internet. Emily Sky is one of my favourite YouTube videos, and just really kind of get into that headspace and think they can do it, so like why can't I? So basically a really good idea is just getting some girls that inspire you, that you want to look like. I had my first ever competition, I don't even know who she is, I found her on Google, a figure girl. In fact, I think she was a bikini athlete, and I had her as my screensaver for like the full 12 weeks. I also had a really kind of tacky meme poster, which is still on my parents' fridge at home, they need to take that down. And it was just one of those, want this, like train hard, eat clean, drink lots of water. So every time I went to the fridge, when I lived at home, if my parents had, you know, anything bad in the cupboards, I always had that little reminder. That's important on prep, but as well on the lead up to prep, because if you start that 12-week phase, if you're not excited for it, if you're not excited for the end result, if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you'll get very bored very quickly. So yeah, the basic points that I'm trying to get out of this rambling video is that you need to be excited, you need to set a clear goal in your head of what you want to look like, why you're doing it, and just, I don't know, like, think about it, and just think about it every day. So when I'm training, I'm thinking about the competition that I want to do, I'm thinking about the improvements that I want to make. When I'm making my dinner at night and can't be bothered making food for the next day, I'm thinking about why I want to make food for the next day. So if you want something enough, it will excite you, and this will all come naturally. But if you haven't done a show before, if you'd thought about wanting to do a show before, then this just might come in handy to see that it's not just the prep, it's the kind of run up to that. And I've run out of things to say, so I'm gonna go and put the kettle on and continue watching Friends. I hope this has been some kind of use to you. Thank you for watching once again. Please subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with the journey, and hopefully you'll get to follow my progress right through to the 24th of May at the NPA Yorkshires.